Welcome to Help, I Have Kids. I'm your host, Pam Marshall, a mom of 5 and a pediatric occupational therapist with over 35 years experience. This podcast is designed to equip you with practical tools, insights from experts, and real-life stories. Because at the end of the day, you are the head of your child's care team. Each week, you'll hear from pediatric experts and fellow moms like you that will help build your confidence. They'll offer clarity and empower you to make informed decisions that work for your whole family. Hi, moms. Welcome back to Help, I Have Kids. Today, my guest is a mom like you. It's Brittany True. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so fun having you on here.
I know.
Because I feel like you've been a star lately that I've seen from afar. So Brittany's been a big part of advocating for Medicaid families and for kids who depend on the services that Medicaid provides. And, you know, it's so great to have you on here because a lot of moms aren't maybe prioritizing, or maybe they don't have the courage to do what you've been doing these last few weeks, which is a lot of hard talks.
Yes, a lot of hard talks. I know firsthand not having the courage to do it because I was one of those. I was like, I'm not going to say, I'll wait.
Yeah.
And finally I was like, no, like Weston needs this. When it's your child, it was very different for me going into it.
Yeah, Mama Bear kicks in and you want to fight.
Yes.
Well, tell us about your family, because a lot of moms listening, they don't know anything about you, but you are a mom, and tell us who's in your family and a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, my husband Jordan and I, we have 4 kids. So Skylar is 12 and she's the only girl. Carson is 5. Then we have Weston, which is our disabled son. He's 3. And then Aiden is 2. So Weston is 3. He's nonverbal. He has a genetic disorder. It's NAA15. So it's a neurodevelopmental.
Very rare.
Very rare, yes. It was just found in 2018. Actually, in 2023, there were only 66 documented people in the world.
Amazing.
And actually, because of Marshall and Heather Anderson, I think the world of her.
She's a good one.
Oh, yes. I tell her, I'm like, we owe you so much. I adore the ground she walks on. We had done the brain MRI, and she had the very first evaluation. She was like, has he ever had one? And I was like, no. Why would he need a scan of his brain? And she was like, I'm not going to diagnose him. I can't do that. I won't. But I think it would be good for him to just have it done. And I was like, okay. So I call a pediatrician, get it in. We have that in August of 2024.
And what did they find?
They found a spot on the globus pallidus, and it was like a signal abnormality. So with that was done on a Saturday morning. We got the results that Saturday night, and I was a mess. Like, I messaged our pediatrician, and I was like, what does this mean? Yeah. Of course, you get on Google, and they tell you not to.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Yes, they tell you not to, but I did it anyway, and it was scary. You know, it was like a brain injury and all types of things. And we got in with neurology first, and neurology was like very dry, very like they didn't have many emotions.
They're usually not the warmest. They're very smart people, but maybe not the warmest.
Yes. So my husband was with me at that appointment because I was like, I really need you to be there. It's important. Yeah. And he works at Toyota full time. So I was like, take off. I need you to be there with me. Yeah. We go, and he just asked, will Weston ever walk or talk? And she looked at him and said, I don't know. Like, it was not encouraging, and I was like, I don't love that response because I need someone to, even if she thinks that, I need a little bit of, encouragement. And she was like, let's get in with genetics and do a whole, get in with them first. So we get in with genetics in November of 2024, Cincinnati, which was very quick because, typically those wait lists are so long.
They're so long, yeah.
And we get in with them. And my biological grandfather died from ALS.
Oh,
so
wow.
we had wanted to double, triple check and make sure this is not anything related to that.
Right.
And they did a whole genome sequencing on Weston, and they found this genetic disorder. And that was, I got the call in January of 2025 that he had this disorder. And it was on a Thursday.
Was there any information at all about the disorder?
No.
Probably not really.
They had never seen a child with it.
Yeah.
And genetics or neuro at Cincinnati. And I was just like, wow, it's one of the best, if not the best children's hospital. Like, that's crazy to me. So that was on a Thursday. They had called, Friday, we're going to have a telehealth meeting with everybody involved. We want this done. We want to see Weston. So we did that on Friday. Instantly, I called Heather. I was like, he has this. And she had looked it up and had seen like the risk. And there had been like episodes documented of seizure activity, but no true anything. So we actually have a rescue of Diastat in case he does ever have a seizure. But we did that on Friday, and to this day, we still don't know much about it. I mean, it's still like something we learn something new every day.
Yeah.
The groups on Facebook are it's from all over the world. I mean, a lot of like, there was one I saw the other day in Ireland. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and
that's, long way.
So we,
and most genetic disorders have just a range of people in skills and ability, right?
Yes.
It's a range of what they're able to do or what they're not able to do. So
yeah. And you have like the mild to severe. And, Weston has been labeled like severe by multiple providers that he sees. So I was taken back, especially because I have 3 now neurotypical children. So raising Weston and learning about it, I have to learn how to parent Weston differently.
Yeah.
But not make him feel different. You know what I mean? Like it's
you
been
have to
very
parent
challenging
in a unique way for him, because you can't let him get by with everything.
Right.
He still has to work and learn and do things.
He does. And
you got to have expectations for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we started therapy with Marshall, and Weston was probably 12 months old. He wasn't putting weight on his legs. And the pediatrician at the time was like, just give him time. And I was like, ma'am, he's 12 months old, not putting any pressure. Like he has no more time.
This is wrong. Right. This is wrong. And he should be standing. Yeah. Even with support.
Yes. Right. So 14 months, we go back and see another doctor, and she was like, no, referral for everything.
Yeah.
And since then, we've seen physical therapy at Marshall. We've seen occupational therapy. We've done feeding therapy. Now he's in ABA 3 days a week. And
what have you seen? Like, what's he working on now? What's something he's working on?
Very much like the transitional phase is a big one for him. He has to know, I say one more and all done. And like, I will sign it to him. I will say it to him. And that was my big thing is, even though he's nonverbal, I'm going to talk to him like he can talk back, no matter what.
That's
like,
right.
And I will still sign it. We'll use his device. Transition is one we're really working on, even from like the car to the clinic or clinic to the car. He gets outside and he thinks he can just book it
and just go.
Yes.
And so is he walking now with help?
He is walking. He does have like the AFOs. Thanks.
Well, that's a huge milestone to be walking. That's really good.
It is. And he has just learned how to use a utensil. He'll use a spoon to eat his pudding.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
He does have a G-tube as well.
Cute and messy.
Cute and messy. Yes, absolutely.
You got to do it. Got to have bath time every night, probably.
I know. And OT, and we've seen Michaela, and she was like, let him be messy. And I was like, Michaela? And I can't. And she was like, I promise, let him play with the food. And we had done feeding with Rachel in Lexington and then Michaela in Georgetown. And I would go in and he'd be playing with pudding. And I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. But now he'll eat it. So I'm like, maybe that did help, anything.
He had experience
Yes.
feeling it. Yeah. And sometimes I think they need, even if they're not cooking, they need to be in the kitchen if you're able to give them something to stir and do like you, because they get exposed to what this food is, even if they're not eating it.
Yes.
Just getting exposed
So
to it.
he does have a G-tube as well. He's G-tube fed. He'll only eat a few things by mouth. And he has celiac. So I have to keep, whatever I cook, everything has to be separate.
Yeah.
Like no cross-contamination at all.
Yeah.
And that's been challenging.
So your family keeps you busy.
Oh, yes.
And then you've got time to do this advocating. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Like you really have time for it. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your life is a lot.
Yes, it is a lot. And you never think
going everywhere.
It is your life until it is.
Yeah.
My daughter plays travel softball and rec softball. My son, he thinks he's going to be the next Ellie. He is all about baseball. And
That's
so
fun.
My big goal right now for especially just behavior therapy, the ABA, is I want to be able to take Weston to a game.
Yeah.
I want to be able to tolerate it. And we do things in moderation. We go to Kroger very early in the morning and there's not a lot of people. The music's not on. We get in and we get out.
Yeah.
And I do it when I see him start getting antsy or whining. I'm like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So, yes, the advocating has been taking up a lot of our time.
Yeah.
But it's so important.
It is so important. It is.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the things observing families with special needs children is that other families don't realize is just the challenges of day to day, just like you describing that we can't go to a baseball game as a family to watch our child play because he can't sit through it and he's going to have a meltdown and a fit and make everybody miserable around him. They don't realize what life's like, that you can't do things as a family, or you can't, you're operating around one person's schedule and needs and very specific things. And it's stressful and hard.
It is very, it's hard to find people that relate as well. So you constantly feel like you're complaining.
Right.
I can't tell you the last time we've been out to eat as a family. We don't go out to eat.
Yeah. And what family can even imagine that?
Right.
You can't imagine.
No.
Not being able to do that.
No.
So.
And I'm not the one, I prefer to not throw a tablet in his face.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that does help soothe him and calm him down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be the one at the restaurant with Mickey Mouse on 10,000, making everyone listen to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And that's been a hard one for my older kids as well. The 5 and the 12-year-old it's always about Weston.
Right.
It's always what Weston can't do. Or Weston, we have to do this because of Weston. We have to get up at 7 o'clock on Friday mornings to take Weston to therapy. And it's like, how do I separate the two? Because I don't want them to look back and be like, well, Weston was the favorite.
Right.
And it's not at all. Weston just needs different things right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, that's why I was so big in getting Weston in so many therapies early, is like, I'm doing it now, so hopefully later in life I don't have to. And if I do, that's fine. But it was also very challenging. We just actually got back from the beach. We took our older kids, and I had respite.
Oh, I bet that was great.
Oh, it was the best time.
So now are you going to do that every year? You've got to put that on your calendar.
Yeah. I eventually want to take Weston maybe just for a few days.
Well, maybe you have a vacation with Weston and still have one without, because you're building into your other children during that time.
And they needed the best version of me and their dad, because we're constantly,
Yeah.
I felt like
you're on pins and needles.
Yes.
A lot.
That's what I tell everyone. I'm like, our whole family walks on eggshells.
Yeah.
And people always ask, how does he communicate his needs? He screams. We don't know. He'll take our hand and will lead us, But his AAC device, we've been really working on, and speech has been wonderful. He's in speech twice a week. So we're working on like the one finger because he takes all of his fingers and we'll like
jam it.
Yes. And I'm like, and he'll take the device and we'll turn it upside down and look at it.
And for those listening that you don't know what an AAC device is, it's just augmentative communication. It's a way that children, when they are nonverbal and they're not able, their brain isn't able to understand how to speak language and tell their muscles what to do. They may understand some receptively, like what you're saying, or, picking up on receptive understanding, but they cannot communicate back their wants and their needs. So imagine, babies learn to babble and learn to communicate their wants and needs. Imagine not being able to do that. So the AAC device steps in and helps them to make the connection and begin to have a voice.
Yes. That was hard to be introduced to. Yeah. They had childhood therapy and I was like, I don't want that to be the end goal. And everyone had reassured me. It's literally
a bridge.
Yes. Yeah. And if that's, Weston has never said mama. And my 5-year-old, I have to like reel myself back in because my 5-year-old's mom,
all
constantly.
The time.
And I'm like, I would give anything to hear Weston simply just say mama, in perspective is a big one.
Yes.
Like looking at it from the outside in, I didn't love it. Then my husband still kind of struggles with it. But I do not talk about Weston in front of Weston ever. Like the psychiatry, we had a telehealth appointment and I was like, I'm going to remove myself from the vehicle because we're parked and we were waiting on my other kids at a pool. And I was like, I don't talk about him in front of, because he does know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he probably understands way more than you think.
Yes. I don't want him to hear, well, mom said I can't, So I was very big on the AAC. And I'm still working.
It's fascinating, those stories. Have you seen some of those children that are older? Like they may be 12, 13, 14 years old, and they finally get a method or a way to communicate, and there is brilliance going on in their mind. Like that is wild.
Yes.
When they finally, and everyone has treated them as if they've just been very low functioning because they couldn't communicate.
Yes.
So I love that approach that you're taking. You're considering that there's more going on there than you know.
Oh, yes. He is so intelligent. He knows everything. They had asked me, does Weston understand what you say? Absolutely, he does.
Yeah.
He knows the word no. He definitely knows the word no. And he'll look, and if I say no, he'll stomp his foot down. And I'm like, that's definitely, you know what I'm saying.
He's objecting.
Oh, yes.
So much. Okay, let's talk about, we didn't dive into this whole Medicaid reimbursement cut. There was 4% cuts on the table for Kentucky. That's the state we live in. And, Kentucky's one of the lowest paying fee schedules for Medicaid for all of its services, for waiver, for state services. So every state has what's called a health plan, and they decide what's going to be in that health plan. An example, you mentioned your child gets therapy. So when a child has Medicaid, they're allowed 20 visits of each type of therapy, like OT, PT, speech. Behavioral health isn't unlimited, but there's like ABA is still authorized. But that's the state health plan. So they're required to fund that. And then beyond that, everything that's medically necessary. You just have to prove medical necessity beyond that. So in our state, we're low. Like when there's rate studies looking at neighboring states that touch us, we are the lowest. And with this 4% that was on the table, it's frustrating. I can speak from a provider perspective. You're speaking from a mom perspective, but also you're a caregiver for your child, and you're being paid through his waiver, right, for caregiving, and that was on the table.
Yes.
And that's significant. Huge.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt like there just was no consideration for you or for we, the providers, and for the children, and for all the people who access these services. And that's where my tears come from, because I'm so passionate that we make sure people get what they need, and especially children.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You had a lot of passion, I know, in your voice, but talk to me about what you learned in the process, how you wanted your voice to be heard. Share a little bit about that with us.
So when I first heard about it, and if you are on waiver or your child is on waiver, you have someone on waiver, I think it is very important to find a agency and a case manager that you connect with, your family connects with. You just have to have a good fit.
You do.
And it's not a luxury to be on waiver.
No.
Not a luxury. I mean, I was 27 and had to leave my job.
Yeah.
And that was hard. Yeah. You know, making the decision to leave was very hard.
And we can go on and on about, like, people listening that you don't know much about this. You know, years ago, before parents might have support or be paid to caregive, children like Weston would be put in an institution.
Absolutely.
And institution care costs $350,000, $500,000 a year, today's money. And people are very unhealthy. The long-term care of someone like that is way more expensive than keeping them in their home, around their family, in support. Because if you didn't have that, you would have no option. If you didn't have waiver or didn't have something helping you, what would families do? Because you do have to work.
Yeah.
And you have to support your whole family. You can't just be about Weston. So it's vital. It's vital to families like yours.
Yeah. And finding, that was another hard one. Whenever he was approved for waiver, was finding an agency that, one, takes pediatrics, and two, had openings. I mean, I still have not heard back from certain agencies, and you send emails every single week, every single day.
Someone, get a case manager to work with you. Yeah.
So when I had finally found her with steps ahead out of her cells, I was like, okay, she was very helpful. We just kind of clicked. And you know when you know. Yeah. So we had decided to go with her and her agency. And I still, to this day, she had emailed me. And I know when it's an email, it's important. Because I only get emails about, like, respite, which we just got approved for. Which it was hard for me to accept that help. Yeah. But I needed it. Yeah. Emails about, like, background checks, and typically it's a text message. So when it came through email, I was like, let me take a look. And she had sent the letter from like Lisa
Lee, the commissioner.
Yes, she had sent
Medicaid
that. And my heart just kind of sank. And I was like, what does that mean? So I had texted her back, or I had texted her because she had emailed me, and I was like, is this 4% across the board? Is this 4%? What exactly does this mean? And she was like, it's across the board. Yeah. And it was kind of quiet for a few days. I was like, maybe something will just kind of change. I don't know. I didn't know how to react. Yeah. And then when you kept hearing things in the waiver groups and all the posts and the pages on Facebook, and it was like, this is going to affect him no matter what. Yeah. And thankfully, we're in a spot. Weston has just Medicaid as a secondary because he has the Anthem through Toyota as primary. But I was thinking about the kids who don't have that. Yeah. What happens to not even the kids, but my heart is obviously set on children, you know, because I am a mom of young children. What about the kids who only have Medicaid? You know, and even Jordan and my husband had spoke about, if this does go through, and it was going to, how do you decide what services are worth it? Because you can't, I couldn't afford to pay any of that. Right. And with a 4% decrease in my pay, we're already behind. You know what I mean? So it's just going to add to it. And I was like, how do you sit there as a parent, figuring out money and your budget and everything? How do you decide, well, ABA isn't worth it this month, or ABA isn't worth it? Well, you're not there. You're going to get off, you're going to get kicked out, And it's like, there were so many underlying factors of that deciding. And as a parent, you're already in a spot. Like I was already in a spot where I felt like I was constantly having to pull for answers. No one believed me about Weston. No one thought that anything, because he looked normal.
You're having to speak up loud just to be heard. Yeah.
So I was very passionate about it to a point where I, the day of the Moab meeting, the Medicaid overseers, we had LX18 because I had made a Facebook post about, I'd made a Facebook post about like, I wanted someone there covering the story.
Yeah.
Well, then I got a text from Megan Mainering and I was just like, oh my gosh, Megan Mainering is texting me. Like, what is happening? And she was so sweet, so kind. And she came to the house that morning and had met Weston, had met the other kids, and we took her to the playroom where Weston's supposed to play, but he doesn't play there. But we had talked about it, and she was like, we're going to go to Frankfurt too. So I made the decision earlier in that week to take all my kids. I had Weston in his medical stroller. I had Skylar and I had Carson, and we were all wearing our Weston's Way shirt. And I made sure they don't know what Medicaid is. They don't understand, which is fine, but I needed them to be there for them, but also for Weston, for the other individuals.
They knew they were supporting him and other people.
And you saw individuals of all kinds, you know? And that was the beauty of it was it's not just Weston. It's for everyone involved. And the fact that you have finger pointing going on, and it's more than that at this point. It was, this is therapy. This is his equipment that he has. If he did not have that cubby bed in his room, he would escape every single door, window.
He would be a horrible story on the news.
Absolutely.
About those children that end up passing because they
no safety
wander
awareness.
Off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and that's
I was
frightening as a parent. You can't sleep and you can't.
Well, so we had to get a security system. So we had gotten Vivint, and you know, I reached out to like our local fire department, our police, everyone.
So they knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had to upgrade it like on every window because he's sneaky. He's very, very sneaky.
He knows.
Yes. So we had gone to the meeting, and I had ran into one of my friends I met through Therapy World, and her son, probably 7 or 8 maybe, and he was in his medical stroller as well, and she was livid. And I was like, you know, they were speaking. We were in one of the overflow rooms. And I said, what's wrong? And she said that she just had to change her son in one of the quiet rooms with a ton of people were there. I mean, you know, like there was a ton.
There was a ton.
And she had to change him in the floor and had to have 2 parents help hide him because the bathrooms there were not wheelchair accessible.
And they didn't have any accommodations. Yeah.
And she was livid. And now this is the simple things that we're talking about. This is why we're upset.
Right.
And there was another adult child, a well-adult child, and their mom was in the floor changing them. Yeah. And I was like, how heartbreaking.
And it's very difficult to get a large adult with disabilities on the floor to begin with, and then off the floor and into the wheelchair. Yeah. And people just don't realize that that's
and you
really,
couldn't, those bathrooms, I mean, it was like,
oh, I know. They were
I was like trying to shimmy down.
Yeah.
And
they were definitely archaic. Yeah.
So I was very adamant that my kids were going.
Well, you rerouted your whole day and whole schedule to do that. And I'm really proud of you because you were a voice for other mamas that maybe couldn't be there, or maybe they didn't have the courage to be there. And you spoke up.
Thank you. Yes.
And
I've learned
really
that.
Proud of you.
I have to. And a lot of people, a lot of women at therapy have, you know, use your voice. Heather used to tell me all the time, it's okay to grieve the life you thought you were going to have.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you're in a spot where like, you don't think it's you until it is. And it's your child sitting there. Every step that he takes is like, I remember fighting for that. And just having those like people in your corner. And I always tell at my kids, even and Jordan, I'm like, God put
Heather in our life for a reason. And everyone, I've met so many amazing people through the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the fact that people had the chance to take it away from us and from him is so frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's hard to think about. Like,
it is.
What happens I told Jordan, I said, what happens if Marshall has to close their doors?
Yeah. Yeah.
What will we do? Go back on a wait list for however long?
Yeah.
Because you do wait and you wait and you wait. And it's like, it's just not fair.
It's not. And so this little thing that was announced that the 4% cuts were going to be, Medicaid would be fully funded for 1 year.
Yeah.
And that they're not going to enact the 4% cuts. That announcement was made, but it's not a solution. It's a temporary solution. And really, I hope every mom that's listening and any mom with a child with special needs or any mom who's got a child who's on Medicaid, that we would know we need to make our voices heard even louder now.
Absolutely.
And, I know that Kentucky has brilliant minds. We have smart businessmen and women. We have smart people that can solve problems and solve a math problem and solve it for a long-term problem, not a short-term problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any state should rely on extra federal funding to fund it, that we've got to solve it here in our state, how to fund it and how to prioritize it, because it's got to be a priority.
Absolutely.
And we've got to work together to solve it long term.
Yes.
And we're tired of politics. We're tired of two sides feuding and putting people in the middle. And we want our legislators and our executive branch of our government, those two branches of government, to listen. Like, we're tired of it. Quit feuding and come and sit around a table and work together to solve the problems.
Absolutely. And when I had reached out to our legislator in Georgetown, I had made it very clear. I didn't hear back for a minute, and I was getting very frustrated, because Georgetown is small.
Yeah.
And I did let my emotions get the best of me. I had made a video on Facebook, and I was like, imagine not being able to hear your kid say, I love you. Imagine your kid saying, I love you through a press of a button. I love you. Very animated.
Right.
I was like, you don't know until you live it.
That's right.
And I eventually heard back. I mean, I'm sure he was busy, and I respect that. But also, like, help me. I am yours. Like, help me. I helped you. You help me, kind of thing.
Right.
And I was like, I'm more than willing for you to come, or I can meet you, and you can see Weston, and you can understand.
You can see a real person.
It's not just
district.
a number.
Yeah.
I told him, he's not just a number. He's not just a percent. I was like, Weston is my son, and Weston matters.
Yeah.
And that, people would always say, like, my husband, he doesn't like to speak up about it. He's very quiet, and I'm not. And he was like, just you're very passionate about it. And I'm like, yes, because I am the one who does all the therapies. I see the kids that can't walk. Right. I see the kids with oxygen and with this and with that. And thank God that's not my child, but also they can't fight for themselves. Weston can't fight for himself. Yeah. So I made it clear to my kids, we are fighting for Weston.
Right.
And for everyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, Jordan, you're not the one at therapy. You don't see the kids that would give anything to crawl. You don't see the therapist in the floor working with them so intensely. Like, I do. And I've seen it.
And typically
every day.
It is we moms that are doing the medical decision making and the fighting. And it's because we're designed to nurture. Our makeup as moms is designed to nurture and help our children eat and grow and thrive. And that's what we're passionate about. And it tends to be the dads designed to be the provider. They tend to be focused on that, being the provider for the family. And so it is oftentimes our role as moms. Like we're the ones doing it. And we know some of you moms are overwhelmed just trying to make it day to day, and you don't have the bandwidth to go fight. No. But those of us that can step in and speak up, we want to, and we need to. And we want to keep that going. I know we created a questionnaire that I think you filled out. Our company, Marshall Pediatric Therapy, created this questionnaire, and we have it automated. So it turns the answers and a digital signature into a letter that then, based on where you live in your county and your zip code, goes to the right legislator, and then it automatically goes to the governor's office. And we've gotten no feedback on, because I know people all over the state were also using similar questionnaires and making sure that they got sent as well. And I know we're up well over 400. I don't know where we're at right now today, but I just wonder what they're doing with those letters. Have they read them?
Are they just sitting there?
Are they sitting there?
Junking out? You never, I mean,
and that's some kind of follow-up, like what's happening with that? Are you hearing our voices? And I think it's important for those people who are Medicaid members, children and families that have Medicaid as a secondary payer or a primary payer, whatever, that they're able to have their voices heard, because we want that to be the driving force of what solves this problem long term. There's no provider. I know there's fraud out there, some provider fraud, but in general, accepting Medicaid is not a get-rich quick scheme. Like, it's just not. We're barely being paid, barely skimming by. And I know as an owner of a provider practice who accepts Medicaid, I want nothing more than to take care of my people, to take care of the wonderful therapists you know and love, and pay them well. And we can't pay them what hospitals pay or what other people pay, because our reimbursement is so low. Right. And we've been advocating for that reimbursement to get a boost, to be reasonable. And so, we have more work to do. Yes. It's not over.
Absolutely.
Our voices need to continue to be heard.
Yes. If you have a voice, please use it. That was, even if you, my family, my mom, I was very big on every day get on there and fill something out. Like, you better.
It's something.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. So I don't know what our next, we need some sort of advocacy group that can continue to meet with legislators and continue to have these conversations, so that it goes beyond this temporary fix for this 1 year, that we really are able to push them. They're not back in session. The legislation isn't back in session until January, but I think we need to be on the agenda.
Absolutely.
As a very important topic of business for them to solve. And so, moms, if you're listening, if you know any lobbyists, lawyers, if we know people who can be a voice for the special needs community, I think it's needed.
It is. And I think going and seeing it firsthand definitely opened my eyes to, show up. Show up, show out. You don't have to go and cause a scene, but just be there. And that was my big thing. Is like, I'm just here. Yes. And we didn't stay long at the meeting in Frankfurt at Capitol Annex, but we were there.
You were there.
And I will remember that no matter what.
Yeah. And your kids will.
My kids will, absolutely. And my 5-year-old, we were sitting in one of the overflow rooms, and he had his arms crossed. And I said, "What's wrong, bud?" He said, "I'm mad." And I said, "Well, why?" He said, "Because they're," pointing to the TV, and he said, "they're being mean to my brother." And I was like, "Well,
you got it."
Yes.
You got it.
It was like, and I am not okay with it. And I was like, yes. And, Carson knows, because there's only a 2-year age gap between those two. And he has buddies that have younger siblings, and he sees them interact with each other. And he's like, "Well, I want Weston play with me." And I'm like, "Let's do something, Weston." I'm like, what about sensory bin? So we do a bunch of sensory bins. a bunch of like swinging, like the hammocks and water play is a big one. Yeah. And I was like, let's, we're not going to accommodate to Weston, but we're going to be on his wavelength right now.
Right.
And that's okay.
Where he can play.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I plan to be, I think we should get a group together and go to those meetings. I mean,
absolutely.
Just being there, I think, like make them make eye contact with you.
That's right. Showing up.
Yes. And I will have a little picture.
Always allow someone, a certain amount of people to speak for 3 minutes at the end. So continuing to show up and being a voice.
And just educate yourself. Mm-hmm. That was a big one. It's like, I've never gone to a protest. I've never been in that building. I've never any of that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm intimidated. Like I had butterflies, but I was like, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I had him in the backseat looking at me with his 3 fingers in his mouth. And I was like, I'm going to do this for you.
You did
and it. I told them, I was like, we're going to go to every single one when they open back up. And I will be there. And I'm going to speak at one of them. I know I am, but I just have to get the courage to do it.
Well, you're encouraging to other moms listening because, for you to have the fierceness in you and decide, hey, I'm going to be a part of this. Yeah. It's so encouraging, and it's helping moms listening know they can do what you did as well. They can be a part of it. And I'm proud of your bravery, and I want to thank you for your vulnerability. It's hard to talk about these intimate things that are dear to our heart and the struggles that we're going through, but I'm just enamored that you chose to come share with everyone today.
Well, thank you.
So thanks so much for being on here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for listening to Help, I Have Kids. If you're tuning into this podcast, that means you're a mom who's curious, committed, and ready to learn. And we see you. We'd love for you to join our Help, I Have Kids Facebook community, where moms just like you are connecting, asking questions, and encouraging each other every day. It's a space for real conversations, expert insight, and support from moms who get it, because we're all in this together. And if you know a mom who's feeling unsure or maybe overwhelmed, or just needs to be reminded that she can do it, she can advocate for her child with confidence, share this episode with her. We're building a village here, and we're glad you're a part of it.